Why, hello. It's Miss Gina, and it's story time. And remember our Wishworks Inc., where Max wished for a dog? It's our Wish Dog book. This is a story about a wish that a little boy made for a dog that he imagines in his daydreams named King. And he ends up with a dog named that he calls Ratty. That's a girl dog, and he's not happy. So I'm Miss Gina. It's with Miss Gina. I'm Miss Gina. Nice to have you here. And you're at Gina's Planet. And so we left off, and remember our sight word was find. Find. I've been using it for a bookmark. Can you find your bookmark? There is my bookmark, find. We're on chapter 9. When Max was walking Ratty after school the next day, he saw Jerome on the sidewalk across the street. And that's where we're at, chapter 9, page 74. When Max was walking Ratty after school the next day, he saw Jerome on the sidewalk across the street. He hoped Jerome wouldn't look his way. He didn't want him to see him walking Ratty again. He didn't want Jerome to ask about King. A bus went by, hiding Max and Ratty from Jerome for a moment. Hurriedly, Max dodged into the nearest shop, dragging the dog with him through the door and closing it behind them. Jerome wouldn't be able to see them now, but no sooner had the door closed than Ratty began to yip and strain at her leash, standing on her back legs and dancing around like a circus dog. Max looked to see what had gotten into her. Too late, he realized he had brought her into La Rosa's. Ratty was struggling to reach the window display of sausages and cheese. Yum. She had gone from yipping now to howling. It was a sound she'd never made before, so strange and loud it made goosebumps rise on his arms. Max jerked on the leash to make her stop. She just howled louder and dragged him sideways toward the window. "Out!" a voice yelled from the back of the shop, so loud that it nearly drowned out Ratty's howling. "Out! Out! Out!" From behind a meat display case came the man with the black mustache. He was much worse than a troll or a giant. His white apron was stained with blood, and he held aloft a gleaming silver meat cleaver. His face was nearly as red as the stains on his apron. Max desperately tried to drag Ratty to the door, but Ratty was pulling too hard toward the sausages in the window. A woman with a bright red lipstick, pushing a small shopping cart filled with bottles of wine, was blocking the narrow aisle between the man and Max. "You shouldn't have a dog in here," the woman said. "I'm sure there's a law." "Out!" the man yelled again, waving the cleaver wildly. He stormed around a stack of cans and started down the shop's other narrow aisle. There was nothing to stop him now, Max thought. He would be on them in no time. Ratty was pawing at a pyramid of wine bottles in front of the window, trying to climb it to reach the sausages. Max pulled on her leash with all his might. Ratty and the whole pyramid of bottles came crashing down. Wine bottles rolled in every direction. The woman screamed. The man shouted something in a language Max didn't understand. Here's the picture. All the wine bottles are on the floor. And Max lost his hold on the leash. Bounding over the rolling bottles, Ratty leaped into the window, grabbed his sausage between her teeth, jumped back down, and ran for the door. Max scrambled after her. "You should do something about that dog," the woman said. Max managed to get a hold of the end of the leash as the man was still stumbling among the bottles. Max shoved open the door, and he and Ratty, sausage firmly between her jaws, burst out into the sidewalk. The sound of the man's voice shouting more words he didn't understand followed him out. He would do something about Ratty, Max thought as he ran down the sidewalk toward home. And he knew what that something would be. When they turned the corner, he slowed down. Ratty had somehow managed to run and gulp down the sausage at the same time. She must have swallowed it whole, he thought. He half expected to hear pounding footsteps behind him, to have Jerome Fisher's father chase him down and arrest him for theft. "We're going home right now," he told Ratty, "and you'd better do your business before we get there, because I'm not taking you out again." When he let himself and Ratty into the house, Mrs. Chang was watching her TV show, her talk show. Polly was at the table pretending to feed broccoli to her doll. Max put away the trowel and the poop bag. He hadn't had to use them. As soon as he took off her leash, Ratty chased Alibaba under the couch. "Take care of the dog," Max told Polly. "I have something important to do." "Okay," Polly said. "You want a broccoli?" she asked Ratty. "Dogs don't eat broccoli," Max said. Ratty, her tail wagging, came and put her front paws on Polly's leg. Polly held out a piece of broccoli. Ratty took it. "This dog does," Polly said. Ratty crunched the broccoli and swallowed it down and wagged for another. King wouldn't eat broccoli, Max thought as he went to his room, and he wouldn't steal sausages. He closed his door to keep Ratty out. Then he settled himself on the bed. He took a deep breath and got quiet. He didn't bother imagining the sidewalk or the door. He just imagined himself standing at the front of the counter at Wishworks, Inc. The old man looked startled at Max's sudden appearance. Then he smiled. "Welcome back," he said. "What can I do for you?" "I need customer service," Max said. "I need refunds and exchanges." The old man frowned. "Am I to understand you are dissatisfied?" "Yes, I'm dissatisfied," Max said. He explained that when he made his wish, he had wanted King, not Ratty. "Ah," the old man said, pressing the fingertip of one hand to his chin. "Ah. But I understood that you wanted a real dog." "I did, but I wanted King to be real." The old man sighed. "That's different. You know, it isn't what you wished. I warned you to think carefully before you made your wish. I'm afraid we don't do refunds or exchanges. Once a wish becomes real, you can't return it. You can't trade it in for something else. Real is real. But that dog is messing up my whole life. Can't you do anything?" The old man ran a hand through his curly white hair. "What could I do?" "You're just imagining me, remember?" This wasn't going at all the way Max had expected. "You can do something, though," the man said. "You can buy another wish." Max grinned. Of course. He should have thought of that himself. He reached into his pocket. He found another $20 bill and handed it over. The old man took it and put it in the cash register drawer. "Make your wish, but this time think very, very carefully." Max had no need to think at all. "I wish Ratty would go away," he said. There was a deep chiming sound, and the shop went dark momentarily. "Done," the old man said. And next time will be chapter 10, Max opened his eyes, and page 83, and we'll find out what happens next. I hope you enjoyed that story. I'm glad you were here. So remember to read more in 2024 and grow your brain. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.